Good to
Lifetime,
go.
lifetime. What's up,
Do
everybody?
what?
Welcome to the live stream. We got George, we got Danny. Danny's very excited about his setup right now, so we'll get to that. But yeah, we have Danny, we have George. How's everyone doing? I know there's a bunch of people. We got Hughes in here for the first time, so welcome, Hughes. The Predator didn't get you, but you know it's good to see you here, man. But let's start at the top. We have the fingers in the house. The fingers. I heard you turn the corner. You're doing better. Glad to hear it, man. Hopefully that continues. Um, we got Chris Freder. Chris Freder just made it home. Thanks for being here, man. Um, we have Dan. Dan, great setup on the GRL track. We'll talk about that hopefully in a bit. Like I said, Hughes is here. John Tucci's here. Slotcott 2021 is here. Slot R, Dave across the pond is here. And he's been talking about how he wants to slam his legends to the ground. So we'll talk about that maybe. Talk about slamming some cars or putting them in the weeds, right, George? That's what you call
Yep,
it,
in the weeds.
in the weeds.
If you want to do it, what we like to do is low riding it.
Yeah. Um, and then we got. Let's see who else we got here. Chat's been busy, so I'm just trying to catch up as fast as I can here.
A lot of people on for Labor Day. Thanks for coming. 32 people.
Yeah,
Don't give me
100%.
that many people on because it's Labor Day.
DNA's in the house and Sasha. So hello, Sasha. We got Charles Jackson in the house. Let's see, Gary Dunmore's in the house.
Hey,
Daryl Rogers, thank you, Daryl. We have Tad29.
Harold Dusty.
We have Gene in the house.
Hello, Mr. Charles Jackson.
Well, I want to take the time to thank you all for coming on. I know it's a holiday here in North America, both in Canada and in the United States. So really appreciate you guys stepping up, coming on. We This is really an open forum discussion tonight. We don't have any topics. We have just an open forum discussion, see how everyone's doing. You got questions, bring them up, we'll answer them. You want to talk about slot cars, you want to talk about upcoming slot cars, anything you want to talk about, let us know. You got new cars, let us know. Hey Bryce, how are you? Nice to see you. Michael Squire, if you got questions about tech, let me know. Yeah, we're just here to have fun, chill out, talk a bit of slot cars, see how everyone's doing today, and yeah, just catch up. So I'll go around the room first. Danny, how you been, man? I saw your last video. Good job cleaning up, man.
Yeah, I didn't clean up in here yet.
Yeah, I meant your other space. Take a
Yeah.
seat, Danny. Yeah, talk
Yeah.
about how it's been. How's your week going?
Week's been good. Been pretty busy. School was lots of freaking homework. I mean, I've got 2 or 3 days worth of homework still to do. I've got part of it done, but mainly messing with that. That's I thought Friday I was going to get out here and get a bunch of stuff done, and I didn't get. It took me I don't know 2.5, 3 days to get done what I got done with the track and cleaning up in there. So I didn't get anything done that I wanted to get done. Really.
Sunday slot car started with a question here, so maybe we'll bring that up.
Boone is here.
Boone's in the house.
Boone.
Happening Boone. Let's see. Sunday's got a question. Maybe we can answer it. Question: If your wife thinks you spend too much on slot cars, how do you get a new wife? Amanda, if you're listening to this,
We plead the
yeah,
fifth, Amanda.
issue.
We had nothing to do with that. Yeah, I don't want to answer that.
We're staying out of this one. Thank you very much, Sunday, for starting it off, but no thanks. Um,
There's Joe. What's up, Joe? Slockhart Dojo. I just talked to him this afternoon.
yeah, yeah. So George, how's your week been? How's everything going?
No, I worked the weekend, and there was the Labor Day shootout at HRW, so I was kind of dropping in on those guys, and they were
giving me a call and stuff, and that's it. And then just yard work today.
Yeah, I
Everybody's
saw
favorite
that you
thing.
getting together, trying to get put together a midget, kind of.
Yeah, I did a video on anybody who wants to, build a midget car and send it in. It's just an impromptu thing. I don't have a date set. It's not really per se a proxy. It's just an experiment. Um, some people are interested. I know Dan Blankenstein, I think is his name. He was over there at HRW and he built one specifically because he saw my post on HRW forum and he did a good job on his. And that guy is a very extremely talented builder, and he's the one that built that street car that Harry showed for the street nats, that jailhouse chassis. He's very particular how he builds, so he did a midget, and he was, kinda excited about it, so that was kinda cool, so hopefully he'll send one in. There I did post links on the forum. If you haven't joined the forum, join the forum. It says, it's a midget at Hangar 1 is the, topic under Oval Racing section. Oval Racing headquarters, and right there explains, the model kits are available. They're under $20 or $20 or less. They're the Atlantis kits. There are pre-made chassis already made for those cars. If you want to get just the chassis and just throw the bits together. If you want to build your own, you can, or you could go and get the Mid America one, which is $139, and that is a complete slot car set. Basically, it comes with everything: the motor, the body, the wheels, the tires, everything. All you're doing is putting it together. So if you guys want to attempt to put a kit together, I'd be welcome you to send it down, and we'll just see how they do and just have fun. That's it.
All right, cool. So you guys are into that. Check out George's video. George covers that a lot in the video,
I'll post
and
a
I'm
link.
pretty sure they'll be into that. So I hear there's some like I'm in a new setup tonight. So if there's issues with audio, just let me know. Let me know if the audio is better now. Um, yeah. So let's see. We have some questions in the chat here. Um, so this is for George. Anthony Bateman is asking Area 51, how do you like that transform from Jim Cunningham? You can switch from digital to analog.
The Omni slot box, yeah, it's behind me here, as you can see. As you see in the video, that's right there. Works well. He does have a less expensive one. This one at the time when we bought it, it was a lot of money, but I deemed it as necessary because I don't have to chip every damn car. But they do make a version that's cheaper, a lot cheaper. So I would say, yeah, it's a big benefit. Especially what happens is, you look at Marty. He's one example of how he progressed in the will do later on. And I don't know what background noise is that from. You hear it?
Is that better?
That's yours, bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still a little less. It sounds kind of funny, like a balloon in the background being squished. Anyways, like I was saying, lost my train of thought.
Sorry about that.
Hell was I saying? We kind of lost now. I kind of lost my train of thought.
No, we're talking
Uh,
about the
oh
Omni
yeah, the
Soft
Omni
Box,
Saw
right?
box. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
I'm getting old. That's what happens when you get in your mid 50s. You start losing it. So, basically, he has a what it is with what I was talking about Martin, how he progressed. So you start out with digital racing and magnets, which is cool because it's all about fun. And one example of that somebody's having fun, and you should look at his videos, is Hughes. Hughes is a perfect example of a person that is just having fun and putting stuff together, and he's doing a real good job. And that's the way you should start out with. And then later on, people do progress. If they do, that they want to try an analog car because they see that the analog cars that other manufacturers offers are so nice looking. Fly, NSR, uh, Polycar. You start getting interested in that, and what happens is that you have to chip those cars because you're delegated to the digital system. And there's other companies now that are doing it. I think Axelbox. I think Joseph from TechSlot still has one that's available. A couple of them, and then you have, Jim Cunningham's, box here. But it helps so you don't have to digitize every car because some some cars you cannot really it's really difficult to digitize, an analog car, especially, like, if it's a scale electric F1, I've done it. It's really tough, and I use the Tech Slot Technic chip. It's really tiny. It's like the size of your thumb. So I mean, you start getting if you don't want to have to do that and have to, put a chip in it, this box is what makes it handy because you flip it and then you have the 2-lane feature, which is, just analog, just like old school HO cars. So it comes in handy. It just depends how you progress in the hobby. I mean, if you're with digital, by all means stick with it, have fun. If you don't plan on going on to digital, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with magnets. Magnets are a lot of fun. I'm opposed to anything like that as long as you're having a good time. And I stuck with magnets for a couple of years before I, branched out to other stuff. But it's just how you progress in the hobby. You get interested in other things, and then you find ways to, accommodate that. So
Yeah, that's cool. So, Anthony, I hope that answers your question. Let's see. Right. See if there's any other questions in the chat here. Also, DNA says he loves the Omni Stop box as well.
yeah, he
So
has
that's
one.
good. Yeah. I
Anybody
love
else
mine
have like
too.
an
I have it
axle
too.
box? Uh, Anybody else have like an axle box or the other stuff? We'd like to hear from you if you do. How you like
Well,
it.
Alex from Axel Box is in the chat here. Sunshine
Oh, there you
Speedway.
go. Oh,
Yeah. So Sunshine Speedway is in the house, and he does the Axle Box as well. So digital to analog switch, and yeah, he's got a lot of videos about that as well. Let's see. All right. I appreciate it. Cool. So anyway, like I said, this is an open forum, open for discussion. I don't really have anything planned out because I was pretty sure not many of you would attend, but seem to be quite pleasantly surprised. So I'd say thank you, thank you, thank you to all of you. I was interested. I was on Pete's live chat on the weekend. I did really cool. And if you haven't seen it, go around and check out like how he showcased everyone's breakout space. So lots of people participated. So if you're into seeing new tracks and everything about it, just go check out Pete's live stream from this weekend. That was pretty awesome. Other than that, I let's talk about new cars coming out. Anything that you guys are in particular looking forward to? George, Danny.
what we're particularly looking forward to, you said?
Oh,
Yeah, any cars you're looking
Uh,
forward
I'm
to?
looking I'm looking forward to the Datsun 510.
Yeah,
That
the
one I'm
Revo
really
slots.
interested in, the Revo and the slotted
yeah.
one. That'll be nice to see that little Datsun, especially Revo, because the reason why I like Revo slot is because they don't nothing gets slotted, but slot is a little slow on releases. When Revo slot does it, they do it in pairs or threes, and that's fun because if you wanna start a club, you have 3 cars already that you could do it with. This is why I like how that company does stuff, how they release things. They release them in threes, and that's nice to have running mates. Even 2 is fine, if you have a 2-lane track or whatnot, but I'm looking forward to the Revo Slot 510, the Datsun.
Yeah. Danny.
I agree. The 510 is whether it's slotted or the Revo. I'll have both. So um, I'm definitely looking forward to that.
So it seems like last year
I
everyone's
did
looking
purchase
forward.
some new cars.
Yeah. So last year everybody was looking forward to the Shadow. Looks like the 510 is taking the Shadow's place for next year, or the remainder of this year. So pretty excited for it as well. I really like the Datsun 510. So getting that as soon as it comes out, that would be awesome. Um, let's see. I have this couple questions. So we'll start with Gladstone Gander. He's asking thoughts about 125th versus 132. Now, George, you probably answer this better than I could because I don't really have 125th scale cars.
So, the comparison of them
I
both, I
think,
guess?
yeah, in general, like, what do you find? Like, what do you think
Well
are the benefits of 125th over 132nd? What are the cons of a 125th and 132nd?
mhm.
Yeah,
Well, if it's Carrera, it'll be 124th.
yeah,
So, I mean
124th, 135th.
yeah, no, I know what you're saying, though,
Yeah.
but also I'll get into 125th because when you look at 124th and 125th, there is a big difference in the model. If you get a 124th car, it's a lot more bigger and to me a little bit bulkier. And Whereas 125th to me is more to scale. So when I do scratch built, unless the car isn't available in 125th, I'll do a 124th, which I've done before. But the 125th, if you put both of them together in 124th, you could tell the difference. Uh, as far as between 132nd and that scale, it just depends. I mean, if you're running a scale electric track, obviously you're only delegated to 132nd or like Ninco or the other brands. If you have like a Carrera, that's one of the reasons why I went with Carrera is because I did like the big cars because it is fun to see a big car go around the track. I don't know if you guys feel that way, but I do. It's a little bit, different because it's always nice to have variety and be able to switch to something different once in a while. That's why I have two tracks. It's just something that I like to do. But it's the 124th is cool. I mean, they're big. They require a little bit more of a different tuning wise. Bigger pieces, whereas 132nd's nice because it's smaller, smaller parts. It's a little bit more nimble, than the 124th. 124 car is a little bit bigger, obviously, and it's just up to what your preference is. But if you're gonna stick with 132nd, then stick with the scale electric track if you're limited in space because Carrera takes a lot of space. And who's the other one that's going 124th in size? Is that Scale Auto their track?
Yeah,
They
so
have a
Scale Auto's track
yeah,
can accommodate 124 and 132nd because Scale Auto does 124 and
right.
132nd cars, right?
And yeah, and there you go. It's nice to have a choice is what it is. You look
Yeah,
at it as it's the consumer is given a lot of choices on anything. I mean, when you go to the store and buy certain, things, or you have choices of different things. That's kind of nice with that in scale. That's what I like about it is that you have a choice. I could have a choice to run my big GT40 cars if I want compares to my little ones. It's nice. So it's just a matter of variety is what really is interesting. And then the model Carrera makes a good job of making, on their 124th cars, they do a beautiful job on their cars. And then, of course, Scale Auto, which I haven't owned one, I'm sure they're just as good. And then you have BRM, which is another company that makes some real nice looking cars too. So
yeah,
it's all about the car, how it looks and how it appeals to you. If it looks gorgeous and you really fall in love with it, then yeah, you're gonna buy it because that's
yeah,
what you're looking for. You should look at stock cars. You look at the detail level and how they look or your favorite livery and all that. That all has to play into your what you shop for.
yeah. So, Danny, can you chime in about 124 and 125th versus 132nd? Like, do you find, like, what's your favorite?
Um,
Like, what's your favorite scale?
well, I mean, as far as um, I guess the production cars, I prefer the 132, but I mean, I don't really hit the only big car that I have is that one scratch built that I've built. So I don't really have a whole lot of. I'll say that building the 124, 125th scale is easier than the smaller. Everything's a little bit smaller when you're building 132, but I mean I only own 132 production cars, so
Yeah.
I guess I don't have a whole lot to add to that.
Okay. So I own
I've been trying to figure
124.
out why my screen's so fuzzy.
I own 124, 132nd on both Scale Auto, BRM, and Carrera. So, well, BRM only makes 124, but it's Revo slot is the 132nd equivalent. But
Bro,
so
not to interrupt you, what BRMs do you have? Because I haven't owned one yet, and I've been looking to get one, but I
so
just
I had that limited black edition Porsche GT1.
okay.
Yeah, that
That's a nice thing.
it's upstairs in my other
No, 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 no,
collection
you have to
room.
bring it
So
out. I know that Camaro and Mustang are nice too. Those are hard to get. I mean, they're
so
already been released, but
yeah,
those are beautiful too.
yeah. So here's the problem. Like I can't get BRM directly locally, so I have to buy them in. They are very pricey by the time they come over, so I don't really have a lot of them. I have one. I think I have two of them right now. But Scale Auto, I only bought the Scale Auto. Actually, no, I have three Scale Autos. They're also very pricey by the time you tech them out for racing. Like I have them all teched out for the wood track racing. At the end of the day, like I said, those were the most expensive cars I've ever bought in my life. The Scale Auto 124th race prep ones. They're a good fun car because they do have a metal chassis. It's a cheese plate chassis, so it's got like lots of holes in it. Very exciting to drive. Um, but between myself, I think I prefer the 132nd scale. One because when I got into, and we had this discussion with Pete this morning. I got into this hobby because I come from the real world love of scale models. So when I came into the hobby, the 132nd scale models were detailed enough to capture everything about the car, yet small enough for me to be able to put on a track and handle. At that point, I didn't have a big track. I could just do a 132nd, and they looked like electric cars from when I grew up. So it was easy for me to align myself with 132nd scale. I only got into 124th scale when we started to race, and 124th a little bit more. But I still prefer the 132nd. They're nimble, they're quick, and I just like the way they handle on track over a 124. So I tend to like driving 132nd cars. So that's why I moved. Majority of my collection is 132nd, but that's not to say like 124. There's some really beautiful pieces of art. Like if you look at the BRM 124s, they're amazingly detailed. So, but then Revo slot is just as good. So it's tough, but 132nd has always been my scale of choice.
So here's what I was talking about. So here's the 124th Carrera car. Now
Right.
this is a 125th scale pickup truck.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously a Corvette's smaller than this Ford pickup truck, but this is the difference in the scale, and you could
Yeah.
see that there's quite. I got my other camera away, but there's quite a difference. This is more to me a realistic scale than a 124th is. Nothing against 124th, but
Yeah.
that's why these things are so big. When these go flying around the track, there's a lot different perspective on them. So.
Yeah. Um, so then there's a question from Sasha here. It's to
Gotcha.
me. Yeah.
Sure.
So she's asked me, "Ro, what is your favorite thing about Carrera cars?" So, um, okay, my first and foremost, Carrera was the brand I came back to. So the reason I got back into slot cars was one, Carrera was the easiest available car at that time. So in 2008, when I decided to come back into slot car hobby, um, the Carrera system was the most available system, and it was digital, so you could do the simulation of racing, right? And I've fallen in love with Carrera since then, and I've continued to collect Carrera in volume since then. Um, why do I like Carrera? The detail level on a Carrera car, the gloss finish on a Carrera car, the plastic on a Carrera car, although it's thicker, it's heavier, it's not a racing car, right? Like Carrera straight out of the box cannot compete against an NSR, cannot compete against a slotted, because from a weight perspective already the car is heavier. Forget all the mechanics behind it. But from a detail level and from being able to take a hit or being able to be robust enough as a scale model, it's just a lot better. To me, the Carrera puts a lot of effort into making it very detailed. And also, they're the licensed producer
I was
for the
gonna say
brand,
right here, they have the
right?
licensing.
Yeah. So I prefer Carrera because they're doing it the right way. Like, yeah, the price point is great. They're licensed. They go after their licenses. They pay for the licenses. They build licensed cars. And as a collector, you want that stamp on that box. You want to be able to say officially licensed product, right? So that's why I love Carrera cars. Now, my favorite car of all time uh, is the Carrera 911 RSR. It no matter, like I was saying to Pete today, we had a big long discussion this afternoon, me and Pete on Zoom, and the one thing I said to Pete was, it doesn't to you, the favorite car. I think your favorite car is the one that you pick up the most to drive. So every time I turn on my track, whether it's and I have a whole bunch of cars, I always pick up my Porsche 911 RSR and I'll zip it around my track, and it's not the most technical car. It's not got all the fancy bits and bobs. Not got a floating motor pod. It's not got, but it's just planted. I love it, and it drives really well, and I enjoy it. And I think that's why I've just fallen in love with that car, and I've continued to do so. I mean, my next favorite brand is Scale Auto, and that's because they also have a good Porsche 911 RSR. Compared to the NSR version of Porsches, I find that the Scale Auto one is wider, it's more planted, and that's why I like it more. So I like a wider, more planted car, and I tend to pick them up. I hope that answers the question, Sasha. Let's see. Any other questions in the chat?
Throw out questions all you want, man. Whatever you want to ask.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, one thing like Billy said, he said the one thing about the Carrera car, when you put it on the track, it's gonna work. Plus, they're really made for doing banks because they have magnets, and Carrera offers a lot of the banking, and people like that because it is kind of cool to see a car go around a bank like that, on a home track, and it's fun. So I mean, that's why Carrera is pretty good with that, and they do like you said, all the licensing and stuff like that. They have all that, so then they can make all these cars like what just, smaller kids may like the Yoshi cars and all those other little, smaller cars that are associated with cartoons and, stuff like that.
Yeah, so talking about that, like so it's so funny. I've always said I won't buy movie cars, but I recently watched the DNA. I think it was either DNA. Somebody unboxed the kit car from Knight Rider, and I had to have it, George. So I went in and I picked up
Well,
a
you
kit car.
caved in, dude.
So I had to go
You
because of
finally
the,
got hooked.
that scanning light in the front. It's always
Yeah.
been like the thing,
Okay.
right? And I've recently been into like long exposure photography, right? So having the kit car run on the track is something I need to see. What kind of exposure, what kind of light trail it will leave. So I picked it up, and then I was like, well, you can't pick one without having something to run it against. So I picked up the Dukes of Hazards, and I picked up the DeLorean as well. So I have the movie car, a couple of movie cars coming to have fun with. So
Cool.
yeah.
DNA tell Sasha thank you. She said she likes my alien logo. That'd be Raul's credit to Raul. He made that logo for me. If she's talking about the one on the corner there.
Well, no, you had the alien head long before I came along. I just
Wow.
I
That
just
one is one.
adjusted it. Yeah. Okay, question for you, George, from Dusty. What scale and where are you finding the midget bodies to build for the proxy?
I'll send you. So Atlantis will have them. They're 1/20th scale is what they are, I believe. So that's what the scale is. And then there's Monogram makes when you get them from eBay or directly from Atlantis. Let me try and look for the link for it, and I'll post it on there. They're really cheap right now. They're like $20 or less. So I mean, there's not much to it, but it's fairly cheap. That's where I would get it from is Atlantis directly, or you can look on eBay or Amazon.
Okay. So there's a bunch of questions. I'm gonna go try and go in order here. But the Soccer Daddy has any word on the 132nd build kit, or am I way behind? I'm not too sure. Are you talking about the 132nd build kit from that Harry was talking about from?
Um, yeah, it seems like everybody knows it's really good. They're
Yeah.
waiting on the machine shop, so for the wheels. That's all I can tell you right now. The Stock Car Corner has a machine shop that makes the stuff, and obviously they're not the first ones on the list because the machine shop, if anybody works in machine shop, they know that the big accounts are the ones that you deal with first, and then however they do the orders and stuff. So they're just waiting for wheels, but soon. Just be patient. It'll be before the Winter Fest, so don't worry. The kits will be out before then. It'll give you a couple of months to build the car and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then DeLeon has a question here. What chassis makes a good chase camera car that is stable and can handle the weight of the? I guess he's saying the weight of the camera. I use
That
a
was
124 scale. I use a
yeah.
124 scale. It's an Audi R8 124 chassis that I repurposed to build my camera car, and I don't have it near me right now. It's on the track. But the reason, one of the things that I want to do when I learn scratch building, how to scratch build chassis, is to build a scratch build chassis specifically for camera car with a specific mount that I have that can swivel different ways. I have a specific mount for one of my little cameras that can spin like several different ways, and I need to build a chassis around it. So that's something that I want to learn as soon as I can get my hands on all the brass and everything I need to start putting that together. But technically, you want a wider platform to keep the camera as stable as possible, and I would use a 1/24th or 1/25th chassis to do that. Let's see here. We have another question as well. Let's see. There was another question here.
Marty has one.
Yeah, here you go. Marty, what car is being released before year end that you have to have? Oh my god, Marty.
For Carrera or for just anything,
I'll let
Marty?
you
I
guys
think the
go
doc,
first because my list is very long.
mine again is like Danny said, the Datsun 510. I know Polycar, that won't be coming out till the first quarter. They have a Rodriguez car coming out next year that I have to get one still, the Mario one, which is available on Polycar. But I think hopefully the Revo 510 at some point will come out for the year's over, but I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see. Danny, what car are you looking for before the end of the year?
Well, I would have to say that the ones that I've been waiting on for half the year already, which would be my two Carrera crossbows and my the limited edition NSR Sprite IndyCar.
Yeah.
So, and also the that Carrera Truckster, the Aston
Aston
Martin
Martin, right?
livery one.
Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
for like I have 16 cars waiting on with Billy and Amanda from Carrera that I placed pre-orders or I listed pre-orders before when the beginning of the year that I'm still waiting on. I know one of them is coming out soon. I'm really excited. Billy just told me he's getting them in, and I'm super excited about it. And it's not the cleaning truck. I know everybody's waiting on that. So there's one car that's coming in. I recently got the Senna car from LEB. I got 3 Chargers coming in. I got the 2 movie cars coming in as well.
Oh yeah, the Challengers, the from SCX are out. I forgot about those.
Yeah,
Little different yeah.
yeah. So I'm not picking up. I'm not really
Yeah.
excited about that because I picked up one already, and I don't know. Because I haven't collected all the colors. There's no, like, for me personally, there's no reason to collect more. I do like the Cuda that came out. I have one. I got it in red. I do like some of the other colors, but I don't really have a need to run that car in a class or anything. So I'm happy with the one I got. But I know a lot of people are excited about the new colors, and there's a lot of people that want to complete their collection, and that would be cool. So I want to shout out to Shotgun Dave for he's been doing some great coverage, but he doesn't go on for long enough. He'll start a live stream and 4 minutes later it's off. I'm like, oh, I jump on the live stream. It's like
they did have 2 of them on. One was 2 hours and one was like an hour.
Yeah, but I jumped onto Dave's and then he was like off and like, oh, I'm just running this car. I ran a couple laps and then he took off. But yeah, Dave did a great job. We want to see more though, Dave. More. Give us more. But great job, Dave. Great job, Harry. I talked to Harry this afternoon, and that was a great job as well. Let's see. What else is there here? Yeah, the Momo C Porsche coming out later this year from Slotted. Looks amazing.
The 962, right?
Yeah, the 962. That's a great car. All right, Dan. What metal chassis did you try that you said doesn't run well on the Carrera track?
Up to Slaughter. I guess he's asking Slaughter that question.
Yeah, I guess so. Let's see. Why I have a real one? Let's see. Yeah. So somebody asked what power supplies you use on your Omni slot box. So George, which one do you use?
I use called MG. It's an older one, but you could get the Amazon, the one from Amazon, the cheap power supply. That'll be fine. Amazon has enough power supplies there you could purchase that'll do just the job. Yeah, no, on me slot box, I don't have one on each lane. I only have one for 2 lanes. You have one for each lane, right, Roll?
I do. I
You do,
have
yeah.
two power
You could have,
supplies.
yeah.
Yeah.
You could have separate ones if you want, but I have one. I don't need, maybe later, but I doubt it. I'll need it,
Yeah.
but yeah. You can use any power supply that you find. That goes to power the analog. So that only powers the analog lanes.
Yeah.
It powers the analog lanes in the voltage, but also you have a separate power pack for the Omnibox that has to power the Omnibox. Gotta remember that because if you hook up the power supply and hook up that electrical connector for the box itself, the AC adapter, and it's not going to work at all in analog because that has to have power as well.
Yeah. Let's see. What else do we have here? Yes, Sunday. Thank you. Yeah, Sunday is my preferred dealer of choice when it comes to Carrera. I buy most of my Carreras from Sunday Slot Car, if not all of them right now. So yeah, if you guys need Carrera stuff, go check out Sunday Slot Cars. They are also my partner in the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So if you're interested in any of that, just watch one of my old videos. I talk about that. New cars that must have for us are BRM orders. We have in Golf McLarens, Porsche 911 GT1s, and the new Ford Escort.
With the pink
So that was
liveries.
it. So this is interesting now. Talking about liveries, and I was listening to Dave Kennedy's live stream, and he talked about some of the liveries are overdone. Do you feel that way, guys? Do you feel like there's some liveries are just overdone now, and you need to take a break from them, or
Me, no. The deliveries I like. Who
yeah?
cares
So
what?
which liveries do you like which livery do
John
you?
Player Special livery.
I knew that.
That's
uh,
probably the one I like a lot. I like the martini ones.
yeah.
The Gulf ones, I don't have many. I don't think I even have a Gulf one. Yeah, I do. I'm sorry, I do have a Gulf one
So
on a
when it comes to
Porsche.
Martini one, I have a question for you. Do you like the white with the Martini livery, or do you like the silver with the Martini livery? Which one is your
I like
preference?
it. Depends on the car too, how it looks like. Like on the Porsche, the silver one looks awesome. I like how
Yeah,
the silver is, and then the white ones, depending on the car, I mean, they look good as well. I like them both. I don't have a like or dislike. They even have a red one, I think, also. So you also do it in red.
so George, which is your most iconic Martini livery car?
Probably the 917 Carrera 124 Porsche the Porsche. That
Yeah,
one I
so the
have
silver, the silver
yeah,
one, right? Yeah,
yeah, that one is just the way when you hit light on it, it just kind of has a glow to it. That's what I
yeah,
really like about it. And then the John Player Special, it's just that one that I remember as a kid in the 80s, on the F1 cars. That thing was like the most iconic thing you see. It's
yeah.
just a real cool livery, and I just like it, the colors.
Danny, what's your favorite livery? And second, what's your favorite Martini livery on the most iconic Martini livery car?
Well, I honestly I can't remember what car it was that I seen the other day that I really liked. It was the Golf livery with the Martini livery combined.
Oh, the
I
I
think it
know
was
which one.
Martini
That's
down the
the
sides and it was the Golf in the middle.
it's either the Lancia or it's the Kramer
You mean it's
Porsche that
half
has
and
the
half?
split. Yeah, this half and half.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
that is
half and
the
half.
Lancia. The
Yeah,
Lancia, and it's the from Sideways, and they have it as locker if you want to get it.
yeah,
That one's kind of trippy looking. I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. That's
yeah. I
Yeah.
don't like. I'm not a big fan of split liveries, honestly. Um, I mean, it looks cool on the Lancia, but and they did a Ford GT. I think they had a split livery on a Ford GT as well that I saw, but it's kind of cool. Okay, so that's the one that you like, Danny.
Yeah. Yeah, and then as far as I'm not a real big fan of the Martini livery, honestly. Now I've seen some of them. in black, and those are all right. But I don't really care for the white or silver, just
Okay,
to
so
be
which one
honest.
is your favorite
So
livery?
I mean, um, I don't know. I don't
Hey,
see. I
Danny, you
mean
don't know what
that
you're
that's not
talking about,
horrible.
dude. You don't know what you're
That's
talking
not
about.
horrible. I mean, there's more color on there. It's better
This
than
is
the white
Yeah.
this is a
for
nice.
sure.
This is a 137.
But I mean, I don't know if I really have a favorite one. I do like that one that Electric Dreams had that was the black Gulf livery that they did. I like
Yeah.
that. I mean, I guess I'm not as traditional as other people, So, I mean, I don't really have a favorite. If it catches my eye, regardless of livery, I'm gonna buy it, or I don't know. I'm not picky, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so all right. So
Orange
I'm
Jaeger liveries. There you go. Sorry.
oh man, there's so many. So
That one right
liveries.
there, Orange Jaeger.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one is
Yes.
fine. I don't mind that one. That one's got a lot on it. The Jaeger is all over the place.
Yeah,
A lot of color.
Jaeger livery is awesome. But
Now,
now
well,
for me, specific liveries look really good on specific cars. So for me, the 917, I love it in the Gulf livery. It's my favorite livery for the 917.
Yeah, Repson. Yeah,
Repsol.
Repsol. Excuse me.
So Repsol is very common. Like my favorite
Rep-
Repsol livery is the Toyota Celica rally car. It's my favorite Repsol livery. Um, my favorite Martini livery is on a Lancia Delta Integrale rally car because I grew up watching those cars dominate the rallies. And the Lancia was the first car I saw with the Martini livery, and it's embedded in my brain. Every time I see a Lancia with a Martini livery, I want it. So, like, there's certain liveries that are ingrained in me because I saw the car in real life or I've had an experience in that car. So, like the Repsol livery on the Celica is the car I drove, so I tend to like it. I'm really fascinated by the new Momo liveries because I haven't seen a lot of them, and the Ferrari F40 that came out from Riva Slot with the Momo kind of got
That
me.
one's gorgeous. I
Yeah.
Harry showed me that one. That one is fantastic.
So yeah,
That is a fantastic one right there.
yeah.
And
And then
also, sorry. Keep going.
no, go ahead, George.
I was saying movies also play into that. Like
Yeah,
so I'll ask everybody the Gulf livery. What movie is synonymous with that? And it's an old movie, and it's with Steve McQueen.
yeah.
And all you have to say is two words.
It's called Le
That
Mans.
yeah, exactly. That one right there. The first scene of the movie is the Gulf car.
Yeah,
The 19. That's also movies have a lot to play with that too. That's why everybody loves that livery. They think of it reminds them of the movie. If you're old farts like I am, so
yeah. Like I'm a big fan of the Sunoco livery, but the Sunoco on the 512M
yeah, another
Ferrari
one.
looks just so awesome that you can't not have it. You know what I mean? But that's what I mean. It's like there's certain liveries that just look so good on certain cars that, yeah, yeah, exactly.
I say I don't really have a favorite livery or one, but like that the crossbow, the orange, white, and black on that crossbow, I have to say that's probably one of my favorite liveries. And I'm not a big, like, flashy type person, but the orange and the black and the white on the Carrera crossbow is probably one of my favorite liveries.
Well, that's also a glow in the dark livery, which is kind of cool. You know that, don't you, Danny? You know that thing glows in the dark, do you?
No,
Yeah,
I didn't have a clue. My
yeah, it
stuff's so
glows. It
blurry right
glows.
now.
You
Yeah.
guys in the chat need to shout out some liveries that we haven't mentioned because I know there's
Well,
some
Marty did. He's called the Marlboro
Marlboro. Yeah,
liveries.
I have the one you sent me, the Marlboro one. That's a beautiful
Yeah.
car. That McLaren. I mean, that's
Yeah. So Pink
nice.
Pig is being talked about a lot here,
Yeah, Pink Pig.
right?
That's a popular one right now.
Okay, so Pink Pig, do you like it on? So my favorite Pink Pig is the modern 911 RSR Pink Pig that won the 2018 Le Mans. So do you prefer the newer Pink Pig livery on the newer one or the older one?
On me, I like them both. I really kind of split between the both. They're both nice looking.
Yeah.
It's different to have a pink car. I mean, nobody really does that much.
De Leon, you got me, man. The Lancia Stratos with the Alitalia livery is amazing, 100%.
I need to put some of these pictures up so everybody can see what we're talking about.
Man, I have to find them.
Well, you can Google it. Just Google
Okay,
it.
okay, give me 1 second. Look at you pulling
You're
me
the
up.
puppet master here with all that stuff right now. I can't do anything.
Stratos.
I can just throw links.
Let me see. I'll do this one. Let me make a new scene. Sorry, guys, bear with us. We're doing this live. Actually, I should just go back to this and duplicate this one
This is the only pink car I own.
and shove everyone off.
Is that tape
really
still
hard
on the
to see,
cover on
but-
that? It's hard to see it with the label. With the cover.
Oh, Danny, you're about to get a lot smaller.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second,
There you go.
guys.
Cool. Yeah. No, that's nice.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna bring up my computer screen so
Thank
that we
you.
can see
What, no, I'm
everything
here for Yoshi or
that Danny
Mario.
wants.
The kids, Hugh, they love it. My grandkids like this. There you go.
All
Cool.
right.
Oh,
Here we
yeah.
go.
See, now I had to. That's why I wanted to show you a photo. Yeah, that's an old school one. The old rally
images.
Italia car. Okay. That's why I was
Yeah,
like, you
so-
gotta flip these because I can't remember.
Let's see.
Not exactly a
Load
car
up.
racer.
That car right there.
Yeah, that one. That one is a beauty. Yeah.
That is a Stratos.
That is the
Um,
definition of a rally car right there. Anytime
Yeah.
you think of rally, I think of that car.
Yeah, so that's a decent car for sure. No, I don't want to be a hobby enthusiast. Let's see who else got some stuff. Lancia Stratos, Sunoco livery is great. Rally
Pink
roll,
Pig.
100%. Pink Pig. Which one?
The one you were
The
talking about. that you liked.
2018.
Yeah, try put that one up.
Yeah, let's see, 2018 Pink Pig. Well, this one I got the 2-pack. I got lots of them, but
Yep.
like that's the images. That's the Pink Pig. I made a shirt on this. Right.
Wait, where am I? Here,
This is not the real image. This one.
Honey.
There you go. That's the Pink Pig livery. That's the 2018 winning car. I have the 2-pack with the Rockmans. I bought, I think both the 2-packs. I think NSR made one and Carrera made one. They're awesome.
Thought Car Dojo says the PFAFF Porsche Plaid livery
Yeah.
is sweet.
That's the FAF Porsche, the plaid.
Okay.
Yeah.
FAF. Okay, that's what that is. FAF.
Yeah, I think I have one new in box over here. I do have a new in box one. So let's see. FAF.
Plaid livery. Rothman livery. There's another one. See, I didn't think of Rothman.
Yeah, the Rothman.
Okay, yeah, all right. Now the Rod. That is a.
Yeah.
Car.
That's the one that Scholastic released, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one right there. That's the livery right there.
There was that other livery. I don't remember what car it was, but it kind of had the the bomber style livery on it. Kind of looked like our old World War II livery. I don't remember if it was Raul. You told me about that one or not.
Which one? Oh, that's not that's
It's
not
like a bomber style.
Yeah, but that was just something I saw. There's the Pikes Peak C10. I think it was a pickup truck. It was a C10 that ran up Pikes Peak, that was built like with the old style World War II livery on it. I was called that one, but I don't really.
Well, there's
have
a car.
Yeah. So one time, one place. This is Ivan. He loves the
See if I can
C9s.
find it.
I have
Yep.
his Saubers. These are
Cool
good.
Arrow, like 59.
Okay, Gary has a question. How many of your cars? I'm gonna switch back to this until we have another livery. Gary has a question for me. How many of your cars have you driven around your track? You have a lot of cars. So it's interesting. Since March of this year, I've not done a car review. So I have over 70 new cars that I've got since then that are just sitting on my desk and I'm not open them. I'm not done videos on them. But every car that so I've run 62 cars on my old track that I've documented. I have 30 cars that are open that I always run at all times, and those are tuned, and they're things that I'll take to like earnings to race. The rest of my cars are for my collection. I am a collector first. I love scale model collecting, and the cars that I'm building and collecting, I don't really need to run them, but I will run them once. I'll pull them out the box when I do my unboxing. I'll run them just to get a baseline about the car. If I like the car or if something's wrong with the car, I'll do whatever I can to fix the car. So if the car has issues and it's not running properly, I'll do whatever I need to fix it. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna race it. I just do it because I want the cars to be running and be able to be put in display, knowing that they are working. That's how I work. So hope that answers the question. Let's see.
The camel Honda livery was Soccer Daddy. That is a good one
Oh,
too.
there's a Castro livery, of course.
Very casual.
Yeah.
See, now we're still kind of going on European liveries now. If you go to like American NASCAR liveries, then that's another thing.
Rockman's is crazy. Well, I don't know enough about NASCAR to be honest. I only know like Dale Earnhardt livery is my one of my the most iconic ones I can think of from the NASCAR world. Obviously, like if you go old school, like the Superbirds and all that, yeah, there's a lot of really cool iconic liveries. Ford Talladegas, they're cool because they have like that raw livery to them. There's a lot of stickers piled on top of like a base. You know, it looks raw and it looks like a car that's come off your driveway.
America.
Exactly, like
That's what it is, America.
right? So I mean, like that's what I love about the old school NASCARs. They just look badass. Um, you know, the Camel Honda. There's so many good cars here. Yeah, so recently the John Player stuff has been getting my attention a lot. Ever since I picked up that sideways Porsche Kramer, that thing
Mhm.
just looks so sweet in that John Player livery. Uh, let's see, the Valiant Bunnies on green body.
With Valiant bunnies on a green body and
Yeah.
a simple red body with big red and blue Puma stripe. Got
Uh,
TNT Motor
is
STP.
okay, George. I'm gonna ask this and Danny too. Which car do you wish is a stock car? And don't say GTO, George. No, you're not allowed to say that. Which car do you think an iconic race car that hasn't been done in a stock car body would you like to see?
I think if they do it, the Paul Newman 510, Paul Newman race car. 'Cause Paul
Okay,
Newman had a 510. Because Paul Newman was not an actor; he was a race car driver.
right.
That he did acting on the side. A lot of people don't realize that. His love was always racing cars, and that one that he raced, the little 510, that'd be nice to see that one. I'd like to see that,
Yeah.
and a GTO. I'm just kidding.
No, you're not allowed to say that one. What about you, Danny?
Um,
Bacon Hawaiian Tropic. I remember that car.
This is
Cannonball
great.
Run.
Cannonball
Cannonball Run.
Run. Who can't? Who can't?
Good
kind of
old
hard one. I have to go with George.
What happened, Danny?
He's thinking. That's right. He's trying to figure out
Oh, okay.
which one it is. The Hawaiian Tropic car. That was that Laguna.
Yeah,
Laguna.
I don't. I'm not real sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cars out there. Oh, pick one in particular if it comes to mind. You could do that. It's crazy.
Yeah, so for me, I think the new Ferrari that just won Le Mans would be a car that I really want to
Yeah,
get.
I'll get that.
Right, that one's crazy. That's a car I really want in a collection.
Which
Um,
one? Didn't hear you. Sorry.
the
Which one you said?
Ferrari that just won the Le Mans.
Oh, yeah, the
Yeah.
recent Ferrari. The recent
Yeah.
Ferrari.
Um, I'm really excited about the 919 Porsche as well. That's from the Le Mans side of things. In the rally car world, a car that I really would like to see more is the Repsol Toyota, obviously as Celica, because it's a car that means a lot to me. I don't know. Those are the cars that come to mind. Obviously, there's so many cars. There's so many iconic cars that have not been done. But yeah, those ones and any Mopar. Come on, guys, give us more Mopars.
No, no Mopars if I can't see Neo. All right.
All right. Let's see. Slide Lola B12 Active Sky livery. I have that one. Sky Active livery. Let's see,
Full cut livery, 499.
oh, that's cool. I think so too, John Bacon. Dodge van ambulance from Canada.
Cannonball Run.
Oh, the A Team truck, the A Team van is also cool.
Yeah,
We should
they
do
do
that.
have that. I think they don't have an 18 man. I know somebody has created one. Probably.
Uh, of course,
So
Ivan
believe it or
McCain.
not, that movie Cannonball Run, that's actually based on some of it's true. The ambulance they did use in a real race. If you
Yeah,
look up a documentary called Cannonball Run, it talks about a lot of that because Hal Needham was the one that was involved actually in Cannonball Run,
yeah,
and some of that was based on the ambulance, and they did use an ambulance. That was their gimmick to go high speeds was they couldn't transport by airplane, so they had to do it by ground.
yeah. So there's a question here. Hey guys, have you guys seen the Carrera track cleaner truck yet? Nope, I've seen it on Slaughter's channel, and if you want, you can go check it on Slaughter. He's the only one that seemed to squeeze one out of somewhere. So I haven't seen any, and I know that a couple of German channels have released videos on the Carrera cleaning truck. So, oh yeah, then Peugeot 908. Yes, good choice. Good choice. 499p. Yeah.
So, grandson of man said something about want regular street cars. So I think it'd be cool to do, if they did a series of, street cars or like something you'd see at like um, I don't know, going to the drag strip on the weekend or something like that. So they just have a series of just specific, you know, grassroots motorsport type cars. Or
So,
even
so
Carrera
time attack cars. I'd like to see time
Carrera
attack
actually
cars.
did
They
it
don't
a
have
few of those a while
ton.
ago. They did Carrera did some of those a while ago, but they didn't.
they
They
release in
have like
Japan and stuff, right? Like the
yeah, they do have
RX-7.
the street
Yeah.
cars like that.
Like the initial D lineup that came out with the RX-7 in the red and the yellow, and then the initial D car that was released in Japan and that area. I mean, that's a cool collection. Now, what
Yeah.
I would like to see, and I saw this recently, was I was watching because I like obviously I like scale models, and the guy was building a 1/18 scale model of old school SLS Merc. But what they do is they sell the model kit and then they sell this accessory kit where you can wide body it. And I wish they would do that for slot cars. Like they would have here's the basic car and then here's the kit you can buy. You can add the fenders on and everything and make it a wide body kit. If you're so inclined, like you can cut the body, glue these all on, and then paint it. I wish they would do that. That would be kind of cool.
So I have a Camaro model kit, and they make a wide body kit for it, and I have plans to turn that into a slot car, but I haven't done it yet. So,
Yeah, I
but I
agree. I agree,
but as
John.
far as cars they haven't made,
Go ahead,
I
Danny.
think that time attack is really big right now, and so I think they need to start doing time attack cars.
Yeah, like the Pikes Hill climb cars, or like mention a couple, Danny.
Well, I mean, a lot of the time attack cars that I pay attention to are um, like the Subaru stuff or whatever, which and then some of the BMWs and the Supras, but like um, time attack. Not only I'm not talking necessarily just hill climb. I mean, what's that? Grid Life. So they race, actual racetracks around the U.S. and then they have the one, and I think in Japan, I think it is.
Yeah,
But they're the cars with like the big wings and the big front spoilers and crazy
yeah,
designs,
lots of
for
downforce.
extreme downforce and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So,
yeah.
but
So
I don't know.
yeah, the problem is it's such an. This is where it gets into that niche zone, right? Like how much. I think stock car. I think with the invention of the new 3D technology, I think that's where we're gonna see all these cars come out. Is because now you can 3D model it and you can just release the 3D file and you can print it. And then, what I would like to see, and this is great, we're moving into this discussion, is um, more chassis come out that are not fixed, but more like adaptable to different body styles, right? Like a plastic, like I mean, G Slot was doing this, where their kit was you don't open screws, you can widen the chassis, open it up a bit. I think if we see more of those kind of chassis come out, it would be kind of cool. So that you can actually put more model kits together and put chassis on them. I know like building brass chassis is cool, but I know like there's a learning curve to it. But if you get like one of those plastic kits where you can just unscrew things and widen the chassis, pull it back to move the drivetrain back, and the only thing that you have to do is watch the motor mount, right? I
They
know
do
G
have
Slot
them.
was doing.
Those are the H&R Pro Track chassis. You can
Yeah,
make yeah, they do. Those are
but is
available.
that plastic, George?
No,
It's
it's
not
it's the
plastic,
brass.
right? Yeah. So I've seen it in brass. I
Yeah.
know that Slotted makes a universal
Yeah,
chassis.
yeah, universal chassis. Yeah,
Yeah,
they do.
but I think there's better. You can use better technology now to make even better chassis out of that. With I've seen better chassis done on the RC side of things. I've seen some of that. It would be nice to see that come onto the slot car side of things as well. Okay, so there's a couple of questions here. Let's see. Sound like Pike Peaks cars. Yep. Yeah. So Dusty says they need to do American semi trucks, like the Pikes Peak CFI Kenworth. I like truck racing. I think it's fun. That's why in the Global Racing League we have a truckster class, because we're
The
gonna race
T
the trucksters.
the T2000. That's that pointy nose one.
Yeah.
That
I've got the Fly Mad Croc semi truck coming.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of the Fly trucks around. Your dad has
Yeah,
a
they've been
couple. He
doing
was
that a
running them the
while.
other night, Danny, on his live stream. It was pretty cool to watch.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. Let's see. The Fingers is asking, Ro, is that your daughter's artist? Right? No, that's a Spawn. My favorite comic book character is Spawn. So I have Spawn pretty much everywhere around my house. I have original signed comics from Todd McFarlane from Spawn. So yeah, I have a lot of Spawn art all over and small Spawn figurines. So that's Spawn right there.
Just make a spawn truck, spawn car.
I should. That's a good idea.
There you go. It's something
Yeah, there
not.
you go. When I get around to making my first custom car, maybe. Um, let's see. Fly trucks are great. Yeah, so I think that's where we're at. The chat is all caught up. Any other questions anyone has? So George, what are you working on these days?
Uh, well, I was so the guys were doing a live on Home Racing World. They did the old 124 scale, like old 40s cars. They were racing those, and Harry gave me one of those, and I recently went up there and I did a post on Home Racing World, replaced the motors. The motor's a little bit, tired, and the braids on it, and it's a real fun car. It's big and bulky, so it's like a 40s car, and it does a nice tip when it goes around the corner, so that's pretty cool. But I have two midget kids, so I may start a midget, but I don't know for sure yet. I already have one built, but as far as building a car, I have one car for the showdown I'm building. I'm still working on that, but otherwise nothing else really. I'm gonna do some scenery on the oval and put up some lights on the fence, and I'm gonna be doing a little bit of that. hopefully this week or next week.
Yeah. So let's see. Tom Work wants to give a shout out to Slot Car Corner. They actually have toolkits for sale for each car type or most. That's great. Good thing for
Yeah,
new guy kids. Yeah.
they have it for every brand. They'll have it in a bag. Yeah, Harry showed those. It's NSR, Revo Slot, obviously is a different one, Thunder Slot, so forth. So yeah, they
Yeah.
provide a lot of little kits for tools for certain, brands.
I think that's very important too because as a beginner, there's so much, like I said, there's so much to this hobby that you can get lost. I recently had this experience, not in this hobby, but recently so Sony releases cameras and I'm a Sony shooter, and what they happened is they released like 4 cameras in a row, and I was confused, like which camera is for what person. Like they're so similar in stats, some differences, but not that much different. So it's nice when we get some clarity and retailers take that time to like make that clarity, make that that definitive decision to like bag certain things. So good on them for doing that. 100%. Let's see. We have questions here. George, what are you doing with with your GTO?
The model kit, I haven't
Yeah,
done anything yet, really. Soon, just not yet. The full scale car, it's in the garage.
yeah,
I plan on putting back the drag setup on it, but I had to get radial tires for the back to have slicks. You can't really run around with slicks. That's really dangerous.
yeah,
So, not that I've done it before, but
yeah. Slicks are good for burnouts though.
they're terrible if the water is barely on. So if it drizzles, and I did that one time, and it caught me off guard. So I took
Yeah,
it to work, which I lived in, at the time, lived Winston, and I drove to Mebane, that's 60 miles. Coming on the
yeah,
way back, it started drizzling. You talking about your butthole puckering? Yeah, that was pretty hairy because that car, even it was weird. It was like you could feel it moving. I was like, holy shit, I don't need to wreck this car. So yeah, I need to get rid. They're not good to drive. But again, North Carolina's weather, so it shifts so quickly that in California I didn't really have that problem because I
yeah,
remember driving to the drag strip with them, which is really no no, but I did it anyway. But it's in the weather in California, it's more predictable in a way. But here it's so unpredictable because you could go 60 miles, it'll be different than it is over here. So that's what caught me off guard. So yeah, I need to change the tires out for sure.
yeah. Um, what's your setup? It's a staggered setup, obviously, but what are we running on the rears, George?
No, no staggered setup.
Oh yeah.
It is. Uh, I think they're Traeger drag stars. I think they're called. I could be wrong. They're 15-inch wheels. So in
Okay.
the back of the car, I have drag bags. The
Okay.
GTO has a problem with squatting. If you
Well,
guys look at videos
yeah,
of
yeah,
stock
yeah,
cars, they have independent rear on those cars, and they squat terribly when you take
yeah,
off from the line. So this, I have bags, and I inflate them up so the car doesn't squat as much. It does a little, but not as heavily as you would see, when you really put power to it. But yeah, I have drag bags on the back of it, stock
yeah,
spring. The front has coilovers. They're adjustable coilovers. It has a Hotchkiss sway bar in the front and rear. Right now it's got street 18-inch, stock GTO wheels on it, which the car handles great. You go around the corner, it'll do real well.
nice.
But I like the other setup. It's more of the old school kind of like because I got skinny tires on the front. Those are I can't remember the size, but they're narrower than the back, obviously, and it gives it that nice look. That's what it looks like in the magazine that I have, that they
Yeah,
did the article on. So I like that look.
yeah. Let's see. Um,
Can't wait for that thing,
yeah,
Yeah, there's a Pioneer Legend coming out at John Player Special Pioneer
yeah,
Legend.
that looks awesome. I saw that
That looks
from
pretty
that
good.
was from Slockout dude. He posted that
Yeah,
picture,
that
and I
really
was
that really caught my eye right there, right away. Like,
and the
ooh,
pinstriping on that is amazing.
yeah,
The pinstripe gold all the way around the edges that
yeah,
just look phenomenal.
and it looks good. I don't
Yeah,
have one, but I have this one. This is a Home Racing World Special Edition one. Let me get that up. It's a lot of glare. Turn that light off. But yeah, it's still a lot of glare. There you go. That's a really cool car. It looks good in those colors, the gold and black. So, but this is not a JPL, but a home racing one, Jim Beam one, home racing world special. Oh, where'd you go? We lost you.
Nah, I lost
Oh, you
my camera. One
lost your
second,
feed.
guys. No, just my camera switched off. Give me one
Oh,
second here. I
okay.
forgot
You're
it's not
still on.
powered on.
I think we'd all go out. You did.
Give me one second, guys. I'll be right back.
Any big shows planned for Florida? Pioneer Legends are like Pokemon. Dave.
Gotta get them all.
Yeah, exactly. They're cool cars. That's the only one I own. I need to get more, but later
I know.
on.
I still need to get some.
There's too many cars to buy. I can't afford everything. Might have been stopped buying anything because I have something coming up that's real important in October. So I've been really restraining from everything. So it starts getting
I know. I
costly.
bought 3 this week, and
The last car I bought was
I'm done.
crap. I think it was a Polycar, and that's it. And I want to get the Mario one because I got all those Polycar Vintage F1, so I want to get one more. So the one that doesn't have out right now.
Yeah.
And then next year they're coming out with that one that I mentioned, which they'll start over again with bombing us with cars. So question is, when Chris has a question, how limited edition is too limited edition? Electric Dreams 24 $300 Porsche 1930. I'm taking donations to get one. Well, I have my reservations on expensive dreams. Obviously they do that to make it limited. So yeah, I mean, if you want to get something, yeah, buy it. I mean, people will pay that price. But yeah, that's pretty expensive. I don't know if I'd ever spend that much on a slot car. What's the most you spend on a slot car, Danny? Unless you don't want to say it on camera, I understand.
Probably. No, probably my NSRs are the ones that have cost the most so far. I mean, that Mad Croc Fly truck that I bought, I actually sent the guy a counter offer and got it cheaper, so it would have been pretty expensive. But so far, just my NSR and my Thunder Slot. Those are the most expensive cars I've got.
I mean, Gene's got a question. George, is that much cheaper to build a car versus buying a car? Well, I mean, you're on average, you're gonna spend probably about on just getting all the parts all together about $100, and then that doesn't include the body, and then you got to look at the paint. So on average, you spend if you go as minimal as much as possible, about 140 to 150, you'll end up spending for a slot car, chassis and all that stuff. When you have your tools established, when you start building cars, that's how about average it runs. But it all depends. Like the midget, since the kits are cheap and it's not as much brass, maybe that'd be like about $100. 'Cause it's always the wheels, and the wheels are the ones that cost the most when you're building a stock car, because the wheels are all machined aluminum, wheels. So you could imagine what goes into machining an aluminum wheel on a machine, and that's why they cost the most. The wheels are the most expensive, I think, out of everything from a slot car perspective. Brass chassis build is the wheels.
Yeah. Well, we got a guy called Marty Ford. You may know him. He he's asking about something in October that you might be doing, George. Obviously, he wasn't paying attention to the beginning of the show,
No,
but
well, what's happening is October is something of a family thing. It's a big event, so I have to plan for it and get the house ready, and we're doing the event in the backyard. We'll just leave it at that. So that's the October thing. That's why I haven't been buying anything really.
yeah. So what's the most? Okay, so this is a question
We
here.
were talking about it earlier, just before when your
What's
camera
the
was off.
most expensive car you bought, George? Come on.
Uh, I'd say about 160. The one I wanted
160.
really
Which car
bad.
was it?
Oh, it was one of those damn Carrera GT40s that were out of production.
Okay.
That was on eBay. I That's how bad I wanted it that I think it was like auctioned at like 90 and I just threw 150 out there just to blow everybody off the door because they keep, bidding on it to keep people from bidding on it. But yeah, the Carrera GT 4124 scale cars that are the ones that are out of I think it was the Chris Amon car, I think it was the black
Yeah.
one, the Le Mans winner. Yeah,
Nice.
so yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, because Chris Fredder was talking about buying one for what did he say? $300. It's like that's from Electric Dreams, and like that's
Like,
a little bit too much.
yeah, that's 299
'Cause
for
it's
that
because
Porsche.
he just asked right there a question, put it up. It says, "How limited edition is too limited edition?" That's Electric Dreams,
They have 23 of
24.
those cars available
Yeah,
from
yeah. You
Electric
know what?
Dreams.
That to me that's a little bit ridiculous. And then also, I don't know. I think that's a little bit too far. But that's a business, so it's businesses do that stuff, and that's fine. They're trying to make a profit. So, but yeah, that is a little bit too much for me. I mean, you might as well get a museum piece out of their museum over there and pay it for something like that. That's instead of what they have there. I mean, that's just my opinion. Don't get me wrong, but
Anyway,
like I said again, if you want to buy it and you want it that bad, look how much you pay for that stupid GT40. You'll pay for it.
listen, guys. Like, so I was looking at scale. I don't know. Do you guys watch Donut Media? Any of you? Like on, it's a YouTube channel, and they do history of cars,
Yeah,
whatever the car is, right? And
yeah,
they were doing the most expensive diecast in the world.
Like Hot
Right.
Wheels.
No, the diecast in general. So the most expensive diecast in the
Corgi.
world, I believe, is like 2 point something million dollars.
Is it a
It's
Corgi or something like that, or what is it?
no, it's a 24 karat Bugatti
Oh, all right.
with 7 carat for the emblem. It's a 7 carat diamond.
Oh my
It's
god, man!
ridiculous,
A
right? So
little
I
nice
mean,
ass
like,
car.
like I said, like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it depends on how much you want it, I guess, or if you can afford it, I guess, right? It's pretty crazy. Like I was watching that, I was like, oh yeah, I want, you know. But like the VW Bug I just bought, it was a pretty pricey car for what it is. Like buying that Bug, that's why I put it in my cart like 4 times, and before I bought it, I was like, it's almost the price of an SCP-2 controller. Like by the time you put it in and ship it, especially shipping to Canada, what it is. So by the time I got it in my hands, I could have ordered a brand new SCP-2 controller from UK Pendle slot and probably been happier. but I
I
got this
probably should,
VW.
I probably should have answered Chris this one. What's limited? Limited. The one Area 51 Raceway car that was auctioned. That's
Yeah,
limited. If you want to go that way.
the
Built
one
by
of
me.
one.
Only one of a kind.
Hey yo,
I think they only paid like I think $100 for it or less. So
yeah.
that's why I'm saying scratch building is really. I mean, that's your limited stuff. Cars that cannot be made by the manufacturers that don't want to make them. That's the beauty of scratch building is that cars you can't get.
Now, who does a really good job and who's really pricey is Hobby Classic. Hobby Classic has all these like 124 kits that get pricey, and I find 124 slot cars are very pricey when you come up to like the higher end.
Yeah.
And they do like a lot of like kits that are pretty pricey. Because we're not in Europe and because they're shipping out of Europe by the time they land. And that's what I consider. It's not just buying the car, it's getting shipped to you. Because, like I said to you, sometimes the cost is cheap and then the shipping is like twice the price of the car. Like, that's when it gets like pretty nuts for me.
Yeah.
In the
Well,
United States, you guys don't deal with a lot of shipping.
no. When you really, yeah, that's true. We don't deal with the shipping what you have over there. When you really want something, you'll pay for it. That's what it
Yeah,
comes down to.
exactly.
I
Yeah,
mean, and it's a hobby. If it's something you really love, something you really like, you're gonna double down, man. That's how it is. It doesn't
yeah,
matter. I mean, that's why these guys like Electric Dreams they do that because they do that because they know people if they want it that bad enough they'll set their price and they'll say 24 of 25. That's like Hot Wheels. I have a Hot Wheel collection. It's underneath the table there. I
Yeah,
have a 1969 green swinging wing still in the package with the
yeah.
metal button. I remember those as a kid. And then I have a couple of cars in there that are very rare too that are worth a lot, but they're only worth a lot if you sell them. But it's just a collection, you know?
Well, there's that very famous Hot Wheels car. It's a pink one. It's a Chevy,
Well,
I think '69, Chevy, whatever. And it's got a weird name, and that's like $11,000 or $12,000 right now if you own
yeah, and
that
the mint in
car.
the package, there's a
Yeah,
lot of there's so the Diora is one that's really rare, and then you have the VW bus with the surfer boards on it. That's an extremely rare one.
yeah,
Uh, the Maverick, they have a Camaro, like you mentioned. There's a lot of cars there that are worth a lot in the red lines, you know, when they came out in '69 or '68, something like that. But
yeah.
yeah, I
Electric
mean,
Dreams has a lot of cars that are really expensive. Like I've been on their site, but
they
I
have
think at
stuff
the end
that's
of
not in production anymore too. That's the thing.
yeah,
I mean, they have one of the GT40s that I need to finish, at least the old ones. It's a yellow one, but I won't pay what they want for it. They want a lot for it, but I understand why they're doing that. It's
yeah,
because you can't get them anymore. So if you want it that bad, you'll pay that price.
yeah. Yeah, and that's why I like it's like when you watch like Cincy Slots and Bruce when they buy collections,
Yeah,
it's that's where you find liquid gold, right? Sometimes you buy a collection and there's that one car in there that's just liquid gold. It's like same thing. I think buying collections, if you want to like bypass and get a lot of slot cars, like MP done this with his F1 cars. He buys a collection of cars and hopefully he can either piece one car together out of it and get
right.
the car he wants, or and I seem to think like that's a good way to, if there's no new cars coming out, that's something that I look at sometimes. I look at collections, but
If you know somebody that's owned the collection, so like for example, since he slots, the one collection that he did buy that were excellent cars
yeah,
were the War Eagle River cars. That's Scott Culp's cars. Scott Culp is an excellent tuner. If you got a War Eagle River car, when
yeah.
you throw it on the track, you got a fast damn car and a very good tuned car because he knows how to tune cars. And now he's in the RC now, and he's kicking ass. Excuse me, sorry, Sasha, kicking butt, kicking butt. All over that too. So he's really talented. So like I said, if you know somebody that has the collection and you know how
Yeah,
they're familiar with it, then they're worth buying. But like MP, he's buying maybe a collection you don't know about. Yeah, and then you do have to kind of like figure out all that stuff
yeah.
together.
Well, MP is really
I'm
good.
sorry,
Like
Sasha.
one,
I didn't mean to say that word. Sorry,
no,
TNA. I
no.
apologize.
Well, I know MP is really good at one thing. Like he scours AliExpress. Like he's always coming up
Yeah.
with some crazy file off AliExpress, and I'm like, how do you find that? He's like, oh, just look, look. So I know he's always hunting, and he does really good at that stuff. Another person, DNA, Sasha and Dahi, they have been really buying a lot of cars, a lot of Reva slots recently. So, and I was really amazed that I don't know if you watched how Sasha drives, but she's actually really good, really talented for 7 years old. She gets that non-mag car around the track pretty good. I have to say I was impressed.
It's all on the muscle
Yeah,
memory.
she's good.
Yeah.
She's good. Like
You got this down, and you got it made.
yeah, no, like honestly, it was pretty impressive. Let's see. So here's a question from Tad. What is a good middle of the road analog controller? I'm building a wood track and I will be needing some. George, you're best to take this one.
Um, so Chad, what I would start out with is a Professor motor controller. Simple, like this. This is fine. They're not very expensive from Slot Car Corner or wherever you want to get it from. If you get a DeFalco, now I have a DeFalco upstairs that I use for commercial a little bit, and then I got out of it. But that one has, the brake and the speed, the sensitivity. Sasha's blushing. I'm sorry.
Uh, that's
But
all.
yeah, I mean, you could get a DeFalco too if you want. If you want to be able to control sensitivity and braking, the traction control part, I'm not really not a fan of that. There's nothing wrong with getting traction control if you want. I just don't really. To me, it doesn't do anything for me. I
Yeah.
prefer just the two knobs. That's just me though. I mean, other guys
Yeah, I
may
have the
prefer.
302 as well. I have the DeFalco 302 with the two knobs. I really haven't, like, I don't race enough at the commercial track for me to warrant the expense of another controller. I got one good controller, and because I'm not racing, like I guess when you get more competitive and you're racing more frequently, you start looking at controllers and differences. I just like
Right.
the feel of a controller. So,
But
like,
the Falco is a very good control. So the
yeah,
sensitivity is what's really nice on it because on the Professor motor, you only how far you go is how it's gonna accelerate the car. But with the DeFalco, you could adjust that. So that's kind of like the advantage of that, and then the braking. So it's nice for you could customize each setting for each car if you're familiar with that. But
yeah,
yeah, I would start out with just a Professor motor just to keep your costs down. But if you could spend a little money, then get the DeFalco with the the sensitivity, the two sensitivity knobs. And if you want to get traction control and go all out, go for it. They're great controllers. But that's what I would that's how I see it. It's totally up to you what you want to spend.
yeah. So I recently looked at. I was looking at getting another because of the Omni slot box. I
Mhm.
have one DeFalco, right? And I was thinking to myself, do I want to buy another DeFalco as well, just to have the two controllers?
Right.
Or should I look at the SCP-2 because obviously that's another very popular controller. So because I like variety, I'm actually going to order the SCP-2. Not from a price perspective, it's also cheaper, and it seems to have all the three knobs on it. So I kind of bought one of those, and I'm bringing one of those in. I want to see the difference between the two. I know I love my DeFalco. It's a great controller. I would 100% recommend it. If anyone wants to get a good controller and you're into like analog racing, definitely a DeFalco is the way to go. Marty can attest to that. Lots of people will attest to that. But in the UK and in Europe, they use SCP-2 and now they're going to SCP-3 for the digital racing. So I wanted to pick up one of those SCP-2s to check them out. And Danny's back. Let's see.
Do that.
And Sasha just got her own controller, so she
Yeah,
can
she got
chime in.
the
Yeah,
Falco.
she got a
How do you
DeFalco
like
as
that,
well,
Sasha? You
and
need to find. She got the real nice one from Electric
yeah,
Dreams Skate.
yeah, yeah.
That's a
No, she
special.
got that from Jim Cunningham. Jim
Oh,
Cunningham
really?
sent her the SCP with her name on it. Oh,
Oh,
sorry,
wow.
the
Oh, that's
DeFalco with her
cool.
name on it. So yeah, uh,
Another thing about DeFalco, you can call Jim personally if you want some information on his controllers. Jim's really helpful. So I mean,
yeah,
you can call at his number. He takes calls and he will call you back because
yeah. She
he'll
seems to
see
be
it.
really happy with hers, so that's good. There's a question here: how often do you have to clean your DeFalco?
No, I mean, look at the. You got to look at the inside of it. If it looks pretty dirty, then you clean it up. Depends on the usage. I mean, if you're using it constantly, yeah, you'll have to clean it more. Hey, stock car guys in the house.
There's a legend that just snuck into the house here.
Legend,
Let's
the one and
see.
only legend.
Legend. Yes. How are
Hey, your
you?
camera looks better there.
Hey, Danny fixed his camera.
There you go.
So Travis says
Yeah, I'm
that.
actually using my phone.
Ah,
Yeah. So Travis says he used the SCP-2 and was tricky after 3 years out. Yeah. So Marty says he has a DeFalco in the dust. He has a SCP-2. Yeah. So Marty, you can tell me more about it.
yeah, he has
Uh,
more experience on the traction
yeah.
control one. Or you should jump on his phone.
Dave, I put wipers on the side windows as I've been enjoying the tail out action. That's cool. Um, and Marty says on the DeFalco, I would say every couple of weeks on the cleaning.
Yeah, he
Uh,
uses it a lot though. So he uses it a
oh, this is
lot more than I
interesting.
do.
So Travis says the main problem with SCP-2 is no trigger feel. That's cool. That's
Really?
interesting. Yeah. Yeah, Trav is paying me back for all the 2:30 a.m.s I do on the UK live streams. But it's also late at isn't it late? It's around 1:30 in UK slot R. So what are you talking about? I appreciate it,
Can't
guys.
sleep. Dreaming slot cars laugh a lot. I was counting rolls in my sleep. One slot car, brr, two slot cars. Brr.
Raoul's though, he's counting Raoul's in my sleep, but that's not the right thing to be
Well, they
counting.
would be in the cases, not making noises. Then
There you go. Yeah, Marty, I'd love to have that conversation with you, even if it's offline, on the two differences, on the two controllers. That would be interesting. Sorry, Travis. Yeah, you knew the live stream was on. I understand, but there was George and Danny too. So maybe you got to put roll George, Danny, and then go to sleep. You know, count them one at a time. Let's
Mine would be
see.
scratch building parts going over his head. Wheels.
Let's see. I have the SCP-2, which I got from Jim Cunningham when I ordered the Omni slot box. How do you find it, Gene? Sasha is now using the SCP-2 that Jim customized for her. She loves it. Oh, so it's an SCP-2? I thought it
Yeah.
was DeFalco that she got from Jim. Yeah, so that's cool. So Dusty says the same thing, that the trigger feel is not there in the SCP-2. All right,
Interesting.
pretty cool. Interesting. Travis is going back to Australia in October, I believe. So yeah, but his collection has already shipped back. Time to hijack a container, guys. The Great Slot Car heist is on. Travis.
Yeah, gone in 60 seconds, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So the SCP-2 uses a magnetic trigger, so it doesn't give you a lot of feedback like the controller with a wiper. Oh, that's very good to know. So I might not buy my SCP-2 after all, because I like the wipers. I really enjoy controllers with the wiper because you get a nice feel to it. That's something I like.
Okay, now I see what they mean by trigger feel. I had to look up the controller because I knew it was a slotted one, but I never touched one.
Yeah.
I like the traditional, I don't know. He's right
with the
about the
wiper,
feel.
right?
Yeah,
Because the
feel of
wiper
it, and
actually you get that resistance
yeah,
on it, right?
and then you hear it.
Yeah.
That's stuck in your head when
Yeah.
playing with slot cars. Is that even in the old AFX controllers? You hear, then they get that smell and get warm.
Yeah.
Or hot.
Yeah. That electric burning smell, so good.
Love that smell.
Yeah. Let's see, any other questions? Yeah, Danny, what are you working on? I asked George what he's working on. What have you been working on?
I've mainly just been working on my track, but I mean, I'd say I'm a little behind on scratch building because I haven't even started yet. So, which I cleaned up the slot car closet so that I can actually do some work in there. So I just actually need to get in there and get busy. So,
Yeah.
hopefully that'll start this week.
Nice. Anything on car level?
Do what?
Anything on the car level? Have you been any more 3D prints that you've done on the car level, or?
No, I've just been 3D printing borders.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Have you done a video on those? I can't remember if you have or not.
I have a little bit.
You should actually do a good video on that, how to do borders, because I think people will be interested in that, because that's an addition to their track. And you know how to do that. That's the video you should do.
I definitely need to, which I've done more to the track over here in this corner, putting more of the foam and stuff on. So looks pretty ugly right now, but hopefully once I start cutting things off, putting borders on, adding more pink foam to the sides, and you won't see the ugliness anymore.
Yeah. Well, Boone kind of came to the rescue with me. So I've been struggling because obviously I'm building the front end of my track, which is where all those grandstands are. And I was confused as to how to deal with the other side. So the other side is like the track goes under the other track and it's kind of cut into it. And I didn't know how to deal with it. And then Boone turned me on. Obviously, last week I talked about this channel, The Lunch King. And he turned me on to the concrete business cards. And we kind of worked out a solution on how to do it, and it's made my life so much easier right now. So I want to say thank you once again to Boone for stepping up for me and helping me out with that. But yeah, there's so much ingenuity in this hobby from so many different people, and YouTube came to the rescue and Boone came to the rescue. So thanks a lot for that.
So what you're talking about, is it similar to that over there?
Yeah, exactly, Danny. Same
Okay.
situation. So how do
So I'm gonna
you?
have to
Because I
get.
have a base, right? I have a military base on the other side of that kind of wall, so I wanted to look like concrete, and I didn't want it to be see through at all. And I needed to figure a way because normally it's like rock formation. If it was in the cliff, I could just cut into the cliff, right? So if you have a mountain, you can cut into it and it would look fine. But because I have a base on the other side, I'm not cutting into a mountain. It's a man-made structure, and I need to understand how to deal with that, and get that kind of concrete feel to it. So kind of Boone stepped up and, we talked it over and he kind of came up. We kind of came up with solutions. So that was awesome. So I want to say thank you to Boone for that. Steve
So
Sweeney needs some drivers. So if you guys live in Vermont area and you're interested in driving, he needs something. So I'll just shout that out. Thank you for posting that. Yeah. And then Travis says the feel comes down to the settings on the SCP-2. The trigger can be very much like a gamepad controller. Okay, pretty cool. Thanks a lot, Travis.
I do the DeFalco sway waltz. I know what he's
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really funny you mentioned that. So it's if you look at all these videos of people racing, you could reading their body language is really interesting. I've done that before. You watch how
Yeah.
certain people do certain things. It's kind of a trip, man. And
Yeah,
that's
it
kind of
was.
funny you bring that up.
So I've seen that a
We all
lot
do it.
more in slot cars than I've seen in RC. Like in RC, you don't get that. But with slot
No.
cars, you seem to have a rhythm. Like, it's
Yeah.
all about rhythm, right? So I tend to do that too. Like once I'm getting into zone, I tend to like sway with my car as I'm driving it. But I never did that when I was running RC cars. I never swayed to the RC car.
It's therapeutic.
Yeah. Question: do they still make the plunger style controllers? I don't know which.
Well, only Carrera. That's, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think I don't know, Dave, if I'm wrong. Is that a European thing where they use the thumb more? I guess in Germany.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna bring in this SCP-2 and get my own feel for it as well. So it's interesting. It's a pretty interesting, difference between the DeFalco and the SCP-2. So I'll bring one in, check it out for myself.
Experiment.
Yeah,
It's got a lot of features on it. It's got
yeah,
a
it
lot of,
it looks pretty cool.
it'd be overwhelming for the beginner. They'd be like, "How do I do it? This, do that, this."
Yeah,
There's a
everything is
Greg Gobb that does have some SCP-2. That's right. Greg Gobb
yeah.
is the one who does worldwide
So
soccer chat. He does have some videos on that.
and
He's
Greg
used.
Gobb is a really nice guy. Like I said, I got my reciprocator from my overdrive tire tour from him. Really awesome guy. So yeah, definitely. Let's see later on to help you decide. I like the old Tyco controllers. Is that the one with the steering wheel? I don't know Tyco controllers.
They made a couple of different ones. The ones
Yeah.
I remember were the yellow ones that would have the heavy spring.
Oh, okay.
And the one with the steering wheel, I don't know. I forget who did the steering wheel one. I can't remember. There is one with the steering wheel.
So
Mark
Tom,
had one. Mark Thomas had one in his
yeah.
his area. He had one up on there. I can't remember who it was.
So Tom Merck is asking, what size layouts do you guys have? So are you asking George, me, or all of us? I don't know. George, you have a 16 by 8 behind you table?
12 by 7.
12 by 7.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
Danny, you
compared
have a
to-
16 or
No, mine's 12 by 8.
okay, 12 by 8.
You only put more than I know.
Yeah. Do you know the length of your tracks?
You mean the
No.
straights?
Like just the length in terms of like when you
Oh,
no?
I think mine is like I have it on the YouTube page. What it is?
Okay. Cool.
Feet. I can't remember. I kind of calculated it. Let me look.
Yeah.
I'd have to go on the track builder and put it in there and see.
Let's see.
I can't remember.
Okay. Yeah, I just found I just put mine into track builder this afternoon. It's so weird. Mine's now 80. My length is 88, but that's because of the Lego City. In my Lego City, I don't have track running through it. So because I cut out 8 8 feet by 8 feet from my track. I only have the track going around it, so my track ends up being 88 feet track length. So
I think
it's
mine
pretty
is
much,
like 39 or something like that. Yeah,
So
yeah.
on the that German uh, builder
Autobahn
thing,
flatter. Yeah.
yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it was like 1,618. I don't know if that was centimeters or what measurement they were using. I don't remember,
Yeah.
but it was equal lane length. That was the main reason I went with this layout.
Yeah. So there's a question up here about the TA-71 kit. Has anyone built a TA-71 kit? And I just ordered the Hoonigan Escort. So I know Dave Kennedy is building.
Oh,
Oh, he received them. I
Area
don't know if he's building
71. The Area 71 kits, right? TA,
the
yeah.
TA-71.
No, they include the chassis and everything. They give you a lot of Mr. Bacon has done a video on it. They give you the chassis and
Oh yeah.
everything. Yeah, he's done a video on it. Check the video he did. He
Well,
did an
Sean.
unboxing of it.
Yeah. So Sean says I've tried to build a TA-71 kit. It takes a lot to get the finish even close to nice, Stuart.
Yeah, because
So
it's 3D printed, so you have to sand a lot. Even if
yeah.
you were, so however you sand that, like I did a video on painting, how you sand it is what's going to come out when you paint it. So you have to sand it first real good. If I don't know how, it looks like Danny would know, is the TA cars kind of, you see a little bit of like lines in them. I can't tell in the video. I think you would have to sand it down.
Yeah, I think so. And
Six inch, yeah.
a lot of times you can take a razor blade and instead of sanding, scrape first.
Oh, okay.
And once you scrape and try to get rid of some of those lines, then go back with sandpaper. It'll make sanding later easier if you scrape it.
There you go. There's the answer. It's a good idea. I never thought of razor blade.
Let's see. Adjust my controller based on the cars I'm running. Yeah, 100%. Like I think every controller needs to be tweaked to the track. That's what Travis mentioned up earlier. DNA has a 14 foot by 8 foot layout, 16-meter track length. It's pretty cool. Let's see.
Software says the Hoonigans have a lot of pieces, but not bad to build. A little prep before paint. Yeah, that's
There you go.
definitely.
Not bad to build.
They do give you a lot of stuff, though.
Yeah.
Personally, I would just take the body and build a brass chassis. The other stuff, I wouldn't even bother. I'd keep the interior, though.
Yeah.
I was going to buy one, but I never did.
Slot car guy. My layout is
Easy.
0 by 0 until he gets back and Slot Shed 2024 comes into play. Then it'll be like my slot car track is 300 meters long. Yeah, we see that coming. Can you buy specific filling primer to make it easier for TA-71 kits?
Well, you got to sand everything down. The primer I used in the video I did was a Rust-Oleum 2-in-1 sandable primer. That's excellent stuff.
Yeah,
like
because
that.
it's got the prime and the
Yeah,
and
right.
yeah.
So you could.
That's the
but
same
you
thing
gotta-
I used on the Legends card.
Yeah.
Dave asked me to do that. Yeah.
Jeez, Marty has more road than a small town.
Boy, Marcy, my layout is 8 feet by 24 feet and 97 feet lane length. So yeah, nice, Marty.
Big crack.
What did he say? Anyway, yeah, exactly. Bring on the 2024 shots.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, definitely, Travis. Why did you jump on the live stream with us?
Yeah,
Nah,
might as
it's
well,
probably
Travis.
early, late in the morning. It's probably in bed watching.
Use your
it.
phone, Travis.
Let's see.
Every 50 miles. Hey, Raul, he's asking you now. Gary Dunware's asking you a question.
Well, has anyone used a 2 battery wireless remote control for Correct Digital from Electric Dreams? I have not.
No.
Has anyone else?
Nope.
No, I have not. Sorry, I couldn't answer
Actually,
that. But I
those
know that there is a new wireless controller coming out for Carrera, and it's battery operated. So if you wait a little bit, that new system is coming out.
System.
It is a Carrera, and it uses AA batteries like normal batteries on their wireless controllers. Because that's the one thing. What happened was when I packaged my Carrera track away in 2008, I didn't disconnect the batteries in the controllers and they were dead. And then when I went to order the new batteries, it took like months to come. So I totally feel the pain. I just didn't understand why I didn't use regular batteries. No worries, Travis.
Yeah,
No
don't
worries.
At this point.
Yeah.
See, Tom works at I have an 8x10 room. I'm trying to map out for a track for polycar. I'm going to do just a 2-lane, or I'm buying a shed. I have a big shed. Get the biggest shed you can, because it always gets bigger when you do stuff like that.
So Gene has 61 for the track. We were starting. Yeah, we're all excited about this Datsun 510, man.
Yeah.
Everyone, I think it's gonna be the Shadow, like the Shadow equivalent. We're gonna see like 30 videos come out of the Jackson 510, right? It's pretty cool. I miss the Shadow. Like the Shadow came and made that huge splash, and then we've had like no car that's made that same splash again, you know. And we need the next car. So I think the 510 has got that coming. So I'm pretty excited for that. Well, Franklin's wireless controllers. Let's see. Yeah, look forward to it, Travis, anytime. 8x10 room. Trying to map out track polycar. So I know, George, you're set with your Carrera and you're set with your wood track. Are you planning to build anything else or expand on track, or any plans for future there?
Not really, unless I get a bigger house and win the lottery or something. Then I'll have a huge place. But no, not really. I just, like I said, I'm going to be doing some senior. I got to do more work upstairs and down here as well. I need to, do some other stuff that I have planned. It's just right now I'm not spending any money on anything. So
Cool. What about you, Danny? You happy with the track now? You've taken a long time to get to happy. Are you happy? Are you satisfied with the track?
Yeah, I'm good with it now. I'm not gonna change it or anything. I mean, part of these track pieces are glued together now, so part of them aren't coming apart. But
Good.
I'm good with it. Now I'm kind of like George. If I win the lottery, or if I'm able to put a big shed out back or whatever, I mean, I wouldn't mind putting up a bigger track. But I mean, for my space and what I've got, this is the way it's going to stay.
Yeah. Let's see. So there's a question from Gene. Speaking of the Shadow, do people race them, or are they all shelf queens now?
no, I
Good
have
question.
mine.
Good question. Who's
run
racing
mine.
their Shadow? You do?
Yeah, I run it. It's out of the box. I run play with. I played with it, as a matter of fact, last week.
Yeah. Danny, do you have a Shadow?
I do have a Shadow, and right now it's on the shelf, but it will be ran on this track when my track is safe and it won't hit the floor.
Yeah. So I'm spoiled because obviously I go to Ernie's. Ernie's made the Shadow. We get a lot of access to Shadows, so I have like a bunch of them. So yeah, I do have Shadows that I run. One with mag, one without mag that I run all the time, and I have a couple in boxes. So yeah, so I have all three check boxes there. George, do you go to backyard? It worked for me. Yeah, there you go, George.
Yeah,
Build a
Chris.
backyard track.
My dogs will be all over it.
Yeah. So Bacon says he hasn't built his TH-71 kits yet.
Won't be able to do that until after I move. He's got two shadows.
Travis, you're so mean. 240Z from the problem is, Travis, tell BRM to ship to Canada. I'll open a Canadian distributor. I'll buy a lot more BRMs. Right now, it's very expensive for me to buy a BRM. It's
240Z.
crazy.
Wow, that'd be a cool one right there.
Yeah. Well, that's another car, like the new Nismo.
Fair Lady, they call it in Japan. The Fair
Yeah.
Lady. I don't know why they call it that over there, but they do.
Yeah.
Must be Japanese.
Let's see. Let's see a track down. Forget the
I'd
shit. I
wish
want a
I did.
4-season barn. There you go. Tune. Yeah, Marty's tune and run his shadows. Bacon has 2 shadows. Let's see. Dan has run his shadow. Um, and then Gary does not have a shadow yet. And Marty says his shadow keeps on getting quicker. Um,
I think the one car that really was sold really fast with was the slotted Ferraris,
yeah, the
512.
512 and the red one, red
The
and
red
gold
one
one.
went fast.
Yeah,
It went fast.
yeah,
That car just flew off the shelf. And then they got the Sunoco out, you know.
yeah, yeah. I missed the boat on the red one. I just started and I wasn't that into. I was only collecting Carreras at one point, so I missed the boat on the red and gold Ferrari. But I got 2 of the Sunoco ones. Um, yeah, and Gene runs his shadow as well.
Mm.
So I think we are pretty caught up. It's almost getting to about a 2-hour mark. We'll sign out in 9 minutes. So as soon as it nines, we're gonna exit. So get your last questions in. If you have certain questions for George, ask them now. Danny, ask them now. Don't ask me any more questions. I don't have any answers. So Raul, we will chat about BRMs. I have info for you. Oh, nice.
There you go.
There you go. Boone's in the house.
Boone! Boone
Boone,
saves the day.
thank you for the concrete business card idea. I watched the Lunch Kings video and I'm sold. I'm doing that whole thing. So, yeah. Oh, another
You'll
thing,
have to send me a link.
I bought a whole bunch of Christmas tree lights because of that Lunch King thing. So now I have like Christmas tree lights to light up my whole track. He does a great job. There's another video from Lunch King that you guys should watch on track lighting with Christmas tree lights. It's crazy. What do I've seen track? I was disappointed by 1 or 2 I've seen on track. Are you talking about the shadows here, Steve? The blue Sunoco, however, runs fast.
I'm either
So,
red Ferrari or
yeah. Yeah, so yeah, Boone saved me today. I was tearing my hair out at one point. Legend above. Yep. 100% Boone's a legend. Let's see, what else is there? Here you go, DeLeon. Would you rather race your shadow on a track with bad drivers and no guardrails, or would you rather get a root canal?
you know?
I don't want a root canal. I'll race my shadow against bad drivers.
I would say you should replace that with passing a stone.
Yeah.
That's where.
There you go, Gary. Have a good night, Gary.
Yeah,
Let's
Gary.
see. All right, we got 7 minutes left, and then we're gonna wrap up, guys. So, any questions? Oh, any shout out, George? Did you have anything happening? Any events you want to shout out to? Harry has his next thing, right? When's the
Winterfest.
the Winterfest
The
thing?
showdown. We get the showdown and the Nats. That'll be in January.
Okay,
So-
and that is what cars are they doing for that one?
So the Nationals are like, street rod cars. So you like what Danny talked about, like your, street
Yeah.
rod cars. No race cars, but street cars, like, people drive on the street, they have a blower on it,
Yeah,
or just a plain, a box stock car.
Yeah.
Obviously not dirt cars or nothing race car like, but, with numbers on it, but street cars. And then the showdown series is, the showdown cars and the modifieds that they do all the time. That's in January. So you're allowed to send two 2 Nats cars, and then 1 showdown and then 1 modified. So
yeah. Thanks for that, George. I'm sorry, I read the comment and I started laughing.
no, that's right. What
Sorry
was
about
it? I thought you were.
The comment is here
What up?
from Chris Freda. Raul, you have 36 shadows. If you crash one, you just put the other one out. No, I don't, but thank you so much for thinking that way. Let's see. Well, Travis is off to bed. Thank you, Travis, for being part
Good,
of the live
Travis.
stream. MR Slot Car Mazda is sweet. Which version? I have the. I think I have all the different colors ones of those. Travis.
Yes,
Travis.
sir, Gucci, American streetcars.
Yeah. Um. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, so Pete and I had a really good discussion. If you guys want to check out some cool tracks, there's lots of really cool track footage. Once again, check out Pete's Track Fans TV's channel for that live stream. Also, I didn't know this, but Pete has a Join It Now, and he does a specific live stream on Wednesday nights for members only. And he has some really cool like insights when he does it. So if you're interested in that, he has it from a very reasonable cost and up. But yeah, if you want to support Pete from Track Fans TV, he's got that going on, and it's pretty interesting. So just wanted to shout that out. I think Marty's on tomorrow night. I'm not too sure. Marty, if you're on, let me know on the chat, and I'll shout you out there. And other than that, I think we've covered everything that's coming up. I think that's it. I don't know the Renown 55. Which Mazda do you have, George? The MR stock car one.
White kit one. Hold on a second, let me see. I've lost it. Oh, here.
Yeah, Dan, your track did make it on Pete's Live. And then you tore it down to put up a GRL.
The Mazda 78.
Yeah, that's the white kit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the white kit.
Oh, okay, cool. That's one of it's a really smooth car if you get one of those. Pretty cool. So Marty says he should be on tomorrow night if he doesn't get any flight delays. So let's make sure Marty gets his flights on time.
He'll be doing it from the airplane.
Question, Danny, do you sing a song about Richmond, north of Richmond? Don't know what that means, but you.
No, I don't have no idea what that means either.
Put the joint
Good
down,
night,
please.
DeLeon. Yeah, so next week we will be back to our regular programming. We'll do the channel of the week and all of that. This week was just a catch up week. That's a good thing DNA's gone to bed, so Sasha's left the chat, so he can say whatever.
Well,
he
we
wants
ain't saying
now.
anything nasties.
I'll have to go look it up.
No habla inglés.
Yeah. Well, I think we've dragged this out long enough. We've kind of come to the point where we're talking about songs that I don't know about, so I think it's time to say have a great night. I wanted to thank everyone. First of all, I thank George, Danny for showing up. Everyone in the chat for giving us time on this holiday weekend. I really appreciate it. Yeah, keep on having fun on Rails, guys. Chris Freder, thank you so much. Yeah, a lot of you guys made this possible. Thank you so much. And until next week, same time, same place. Have fun on Rails, guys. Take care.
Yeah.